What's going on, everybody? Americong back at you again with another video. This one's been a long time coming too. Been wanting to do this video forever. My top favorite YouTubers. So I was gonna say top 10, top 8. I don't know how many I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna give you my favorite YouTubers. I'm gonna try to keep it around 1 million subscribers, but I would preferably like it under 1 million subscribers. So these are my top underrated YouTubers, you can call it. You know what I mean? So if you're looking for stuff to watch on YouTube and you want to kind of go outside your normal feed, I would really recommend checking out some of these channels. So let's just get right into it. First one I want to highlight, I've been watching this guy ever since I was probably about 11. Little YouTuber I like to call nutnfancy. So this guy, old school Air Force colonel, he does gun reviews and gear reviews. I started watching him right after my first trip to the range with my dad, actually, because we shot the Kel-Tec KSG, which is a bullpup shotgun. If you guys don't know what that means, it just means a little short shotgun where it feeds in the back of the stock and it keeps the overall form factor shorter. Coolest thing ever. Destroyed my little 10-year-old shoulder, but you know, super fun. And I looked up reviews for it on YouTube. He was the first review I saw. Ever since then, I was hooked. He hasn't really grown a ton in the past 10 years I've been watching him, or longer than that. I've been watching him since I was 10 years old. I'm 23 now. Incredible dude. His tabletop reviews, absolutely incredible. I mean, he just goes into every little nook and cranny of the firearm or gear that he is reviewing, and he tells you anything that you could possibly think about asking about that certain product. I mean, he will answer it. He uses like his own little acronyms and stuff he comes up with. I kind of like it. He's also one of the only YouTubers I've actually bought merch from. I have a little couple patches of his, and he was nice enough to sign a little letter, thanking me for buying it and stuff like that when it came in. But they call it the TNP project, the Nutnfancy project, if you're curious. Go check him out. He's absolutely phenomenal. Funny too. He's a really funny guy. And I just love his, when he tests the gear, he has little montages at the beginning. I know a lot of gun tubers do that now. His are just a lot more raw, I feel like, which I really appreciate. So he's incredible. Go check him out. If you're thinking about buying a firearm for the first time, go type in whatever firearm that is, Nutnfancy review. More than likely he's going to have a review on it. So yeah, go check him out for sure. Second channel I'm going to highlight. He hasn't put out a ton of videos because he just started, and I think he's actually under 50K subscribers. The Sensible Saiyan. If you're into Dragon Ball Z like I am, this dude is the guy. Like, I love how he does his videos. Basically what he does is he goes over mostly Dragon Ball fights. He has a couple other animes and stuff like that in there, but he'll go over the Dragon Ball fights like it's a real MMA match, and he will like show you every uppercut that's landed, tactics each fighter likes to use and bad habits they have. And it really made me have a whole new appreciation for the series. I didn't realize how much thought that the creators, when the animators, put into the fights. And they like to have characters do the same thing kind of repeatedly. Not like, like the repeated animations and stuff like that, but like from fight to fight. Like, I just never noticed some stuff because they happen so fast, but when you slow it down, it's like really cool. He does like the 10-point must system, which is I guess how they rate UFC fights, and he'll give you like his winner and loser at the end of the fight, and it's just incredible. His editing skills they are absolutely incredible. I aspire to be as good as he is. I mean, he is really, really phenomenal editing his videos. And I like his voice, and he just deserves way more subs. I know a bunch of DBZ YouTubers that kind of just put out like this slop. I'm not going to name any names, but there's a ton of like what if stories, and some of them are good, but he really, really is innovating on like the DBZ fighting analysis front. He's my favorite. So yeah, go check out the Sensible Saiyan for sure. Third YouTuber I want to highlight, this guy named HuntPrimitive. So some of you guys might be familiar with the channel called Primitive Technology. And this guy, he like goes into the woods. I think he's like in Australia or New Zealand. He does like primitive life way structures. He builds these huts out of mud, and you know, he's done a couple bows and arrows and stuff like that too. And he's great. I love that guy. He's really big though. This guy, HuntPrimitive. Go check him out. He does more like hunting stuff, and he'll do like how to carve the bow out of wood, like Osage wood, like really detailed, like hour-long videos. How to flint nap, tips and tricks for it. That's basically when you get flint and you carve it into like a really sharp rock to put at the end of an arrow. How to make the arrows with the fletching and the feathers and stuff. He does these big documentaries which are really cool about how he hunts wildebeest and buffalo and bison and musk ox. He goes out into like the Arctic and the plains. He went to Africa for one, I think, and he goes and hunts them with these primitive tools that he builds himself. And he gets really into like the Paleolithic living, and he hunts it. He shows you how to skin it and how to get everything out of the animal. He's like one of the most knowledgeable YouTubers I have on my roster. Really, really incredible guy. I love his stuff. And if you have any questions like regarding how to get started with like, you know, primitive survival and primitive ways of life, I mean, he is the guy, especially in the hunting category. He's got any question you could possibly think of. How to stalk your prey, how to do this, do that, you know, different uses for every part of the animal. He's incredible. And, you know, I think he's putting out a couple books. I haven't bought one of his books yet, but I plan on it. He also has a store for the bows if you want to just buy them. But I really am planning on making one. Maybe that'll be a YouTube video. But big inspiration. Love that guy. So yeah, go check out HuntPrimitive. Next one I want to highlight, a little near and dear to my heart, I gotta say. YouTuber called Bob Gymlam. So let me kind of give you a little bit of history. Most famous Bigfoot video of all time, the Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot footage. You might have seen it. It's the one where Bigfoot's walking across the water and they like look back like that. It was like memed on Elf or whatever. The people who did that were Robert Patterson and Bob Gymlam. This is not that Bob Gymlam. It's another Bigfoot researcher just taking the same name. Dude is incredible. You know, not saying if I believe or, you know, I gotta say, I think I do believe in Bigfoot after watching this dude. The lengths this dude goes to research his craft it's incredible. And the way he's able to weave stories, and I know most of it's entertainment. I don't know if Bigfoot's real or not, but I love when he talks about Bigfoot. He's actually one of the bigger YouTubers I'm talking about. He's got, I think, close to 700,000 subscribers, and he's actually on Joe Rogan. That podcast he's on Joe Rogan with, unfortunately, wasn't great because it was right before the election, and they just ended up talking about politics the whole time. And there's just so much good shit you could be asking Bob Gymlam about. He's into bears. I know Joe Rogan loves bears and everything. He did this video. I think his magnum opus, was the Japanese death bear video he did. There was this crazy bear that killed like 12 people in Japan back in like 1902, and they called it like the demon bear. You're not even like allowed to talk about it around that village in Japan anymore still to this day. Really, really awesome. One of the things I love about Bob Gymlam is he kind of has the same view of animals I do. I love animals. I really, really do. If you watch my shorts, I know they have nothing to do with this channel, but most of the time it's like I'm me at the zoo or the aquarium, and I'm just getting footage of animals and stuff because I really do enjoy animals. But I know animals, most of them, especially wild ones, could not give a fuck about an actual human being. You know what I mean? We have like this weird perception in society today of, we think since we're humans, we're special when we go out into the wild. Like, oh, they don't want to mess with us. We're people. You know what I mean? That's totally not true. We are, you know, subject to predation just like any other animal on Earth. And Bob Gymlam gets that. He did another video, top 3 most deadly animal attacks that you never heard of. He did that one not too long ago. That was a great one. But his Bigfoot videos, phenomenal. He's got great Bigfoot videos. He's on the Bigfoot train. He believes in them. I want to believe in Bigfoot really bad, but, you know, who knows. He's also done a couple UFO videos, which I like, so that's pretty much it. Go check out Bob Gymlam. His editor actually has cancer right now, I think. Maybe he's gotten over it, but he does like the drawings for the videos and stuff, and they're absolutely fantastic. It's just good eye candy to look at during the videos. So yeah, go support him. I actually have a t-shirt of Bob Gymlam. I'm not wearing it today, but he's one of the other YouTubers I bought something from. Great guy, so go check him out. Next channel I want to highlight, to be honest, I haven't been watching this channel forever. You know, it's probably been about a year since I started watching them. This is the most controversial channel I'm going to talk about out of all these. A channel called PSR, which stands for Print, Shoot, Repeat. And what he does is squirted guns. And I don't even think YouTube likes me saying the actual thing it is, but if you go on the channel, you'll understand what it is. He gets in trouble with the YouTube a lot, you know what I mean, a ton. He's gotten 2 strikes, he got 1 removed, so he's down to 1 strike, but you get 3 strikes, you're like kicked off the platform forever. He doesn't do anything illegal or anything like that. YouTube's just up as a hard-on for him, I guess, but he is an awesome gun YouTuber. I mean, he does reviews, he does everything, and they're all great. His biggest pro, I gotta say, is dude, the dude is just fucking hilarious. You know, he's just a funny ass dude. He got into a little, not a feud or anything, but Lucas from T-Rex Arms, which I actually like him too, was like, oh, he's not good for the gun community because he's makes fun or something like that. I don't know if he called him out specifically. I didn't watch Lucas's whole podcast on it, but I know PSR was in the thumbnail. Listen, man, it's good to have some comedy, you know, like lighten up. The dude is hilarious. If Deadpool was a real person, PSR would be him. He wears the mask and everything, not the Deadpool mask. He might have actually in one video, but he wears his own mask because he doesn't want to show his face. The guy is just hilarious. His intro is hilarious where he's like praying to YouTube to not demonetize him and stuff. I mean, the guy is just funny. And he does where how to paint guns, you know, just like you ever see like a camo gun. He's got a special intro for that where he's like impersonating Bob Ross. Absolutely fucking hilarious. The dude has just a million funny quips in here and there. Does funny videos. The guy's funny. Another side of him I really liked, and I just watched his recent video about he went to Brutal Finish or something like that, which is a gun competition in Finland where you have to do various drills with guns and hit targets and move heavy weights and run and stuff like that. It's very physically demanding. And I loved that video he did. And the reason why I loved it was, I said the same thing about nutnfancy, but it was like really, really raw. A lot of gun tubers, and I'm not going to call out any. I really don't have a problem with any gun tubers. I watch a ton of them. But I see a lot of them, it's like super edited. And PSR is super edited too. He's a great editor. But I can tell they're only showing like mostly the best moments of their, you know, shooting montage or whatever. They are hitting all the targets and stuff like that. And some of these guys are trained and awesome, and I'm sure they are hitting more than they're missing, and they're not fucking up. But PSR, during this finish brutal, or brutal finish, whatever it's called, he was showing everything. Every mistake he made, everything he didn't like, and he would call himself out too. If he's like, yeah, I made a mistake here. And the one part I really liked was they had this one challenge. It was like towards the middle of the competition where you had to go into a room and there was going to be a random thing you had to do and you didn't know what it was. It actually ended up being March stuff, which is massive hemorrhage, airway respiration, circulation, hypothermia, medic stuff. PSR is not a medic. I don't know how many medical classes he's been in, but he's like, yeah, man, I kind of knew what I was doing, but I went in there and I saw what he was doing. He should have totally put on a tourniquet and said he decided to pack the wound. But he didn't do well on that. And he's like, yeah, you get in there, but it's really loud. And I just didn't know what to do. That situation he was in, man, when I was going through medic training, same exact thing, dude. Like, I totally was there with him. And I'm like, man, I totally get it. You kind of, you know, you're an 18-year-old kid. He's probably around my age now, like 23 or whatever, I'm guessing. But you go in there, it's like your first time doing that. You do get nervous, man, and that's okay. I mean, people aren't supposed to be perfect at everything right off the bat. So I love how he kept that in there. I love how he keeps everything in there, even his mistakes. So he's a human, you know, really funny human, but he's human, and I love that. So go check out PSR. He really needs support. Love that guy. Next one I want to talk about, really passionate about this guy. These guys, I'm sorry. Dirty Civilian. So what is Dirty Civilian? I know I mentioned 2 gun tubers. This is more of a tactical tuber, I would say, because it's not just gun stuff. They don't really review guns like that. They are really passionate about the history and the application of guerrilla warfare. So that's not YouTube friendly, but I love their content. They got such great stuff. They got great special guests that are experts in different fields of gunfighting and tactics and such. And they're really knowledgeable too. And they have a ton of variety. They got homesteading, which is like when you raise goats and chickens and stuff, to thermal optics on your guns and everything. And they don't pull any punches. They will give you a ton of information about that stuff if you are interested in it. And I love them for that. I gotta say too, you know what I mean? Everybody thinks that we live in a society where nothing could ever happen and we're safe on our little island we call America, and that may be true, man. We haven't had an invasion since like 1812, I think, or maybe the Mexican-American War that kind of came over, or if you count the Civil War, if that was a Civil War. But I mean, shit can go haywire like that, you know what I mean? Nobody knows what's gonna happen. Nobody knows what's right around the corner. Nobody knows what's beyond the next door, you know what I mean? So I think it's really good to know stuff, and I'm not an expert by any of that stuff by any means, you know what I mean? I'm at best a amateur at everything they talk about, but I love the stuff they teach, and I think it is very, very applicable, and I think that you should give it a shot in watching it. Love their stuff, and they're funny too. They tell jokes. They do a little skit at the beginning, not even, you know, not as funny as PSR. PSR is the funniest, but I like their stuff too. You know, go check them out. Video production quality is like a movie quality for them. I love their cameras. I love everything they do. I would love to have them on a podcast one day. They seem like really interesting guys to talk to. So go check them out. Dirty Civilian. Next one I want to talk about. Biggest YouTuber that's going to be on this list. And you have probably heard of him if you're on YouTube and you like video essays. But I looked on his channel. He's only got like 3 million subs. Or I think it's like, no, it's got like, he's like a 1.5 million subs or something like that. I'm sorry. EmpLemon. He is the video essay god of YouTube. I mean, he does the best video essays. What is a video essay? I'll explain it to you right now. Video essays are when you take a topic and you kind of have an essay that you would like write for a college, but you have visuals and stuff like that, and you can make it entertaining, and I love how he does it. I love the topics he covers. You know, they're not all hitters, but he makes anything he talks about interesting. You know, I have no interest in NASCAR. I don't give a shit about NASCAR. His NASCAR videos, I will put that on in the background as I'm driving, or if I'm having dinner, I'll put on an EmpLemon video, even ones I've already seen before, and it is just quality content. I mean, I love the stuff he puts out, really. His best video, I gotta say though, if you're just gonna watch one EmpLemon video, go watch Pandora's Box. I probably watch a video once every 2 months. Scary shit, you know, just stuff that's happening in the world that we need to think about, and it's about humans' capacity for self-destruction and how we think that we're innovating and we just do stuff for the sake of innovation, but we don't know what kind of tendrils we are unleashing upon the world. I mean, I really, really love that video, Pandora's Box. He's got other great ones too. He's got one about Jar Jar. You know, like, I love that one. Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars. He just did a poker video I really love about the greatest poker run of all time. I forget the guy's name, but that guy's a legend. And I can't even think of them all. He's got just such great videos. The highest jump of all time, somebody jumped from basically space. That was insane. He did a video about that. He's just got great videos. Love EmpLemon. You got to go check him out. Next guy I want to talk about. Check this out. Wartime Stories. That's the guy's name. He's got less than 1 million. I think he's like 800,000. He does not conspiracies. I wouldn't call him a conspiracy theory YouTuber. But what he does is he tells stories of servicemen and their paranormal, extraterrestrial, or just flat out strange encounters they have during their time in service, a lot of times during war, you know what I mean? He's really fucking fun to watch, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's AI, but I love his artwork in the background he's got. It's like hand-drawn looking, and just the way he weaves the tale. You guys are noticing a pattern where I really like YouTubers that can tell a good tale, you know what I mean? But the way he weaves these stories, I mean, I love the way he does that. Really great stuff. He's got videos about the Men in Black, about making people just go disappear, and how the government doesn't even say anything about it, and they just kind of brush it under the rug, which is what our government likes to do. He's got videos about the Nephilim in Afghanistan, which are like the giants from the Bible, and how SEAL Team 6 tried to kill them one day, and he ended up killing one of them, and they send his body back to an Air Force base. I forget the name of the Air Force base, but dude, the guy is just a legend. I love everything he talks about, dude. He talks about everything under the sun with weird stuff. A lot of his stuff is like kind of like cryptids and monster related, like people and soldiers finding them like in the woods and the jungle of warfare and everything like that. So love those videos, but his best videos are the Giants one I really like, and the Men in Black ones and UFO ones are really good. Those are my favorites of his. So go check out Wartime Stories. I would really recommend his channel. Last guy I want to address. Been watching this dude for probably about 2 years. Started watching him in Poland, actually, on deployment. The Y-Files. So the Y-Files actually has more than 1 million subscribers. I think he's at like 1.2. He does conspiracy theory videos. And when I say conspiracy theory videos, I mean everything under the sun, from reptilians under your feet to massive government cover-ups, which I guess everything's a massive government cover-up, but aliens to, he did a vampire one, he did one about Neanderthals and how they were eating us when we were coming up in the world and everything. But his videos are phenomenal. I love the way he does them. I don't even mind Hecklefish. I'll address Hecklefish in a second. So basically what he does is he goes through the entire conspiracy theory at the beginning, right? And he like paints the picture like it's really true, and he's just telling it as a story, and he doesn't try to debunk it or anything. He just gives you the whole picture of the conspiracy theory. Then the second half of the video, or the last quarter of it, between those two times, he will start his debunking, and he will go over everything he thinks is true, everything he thinks is false, and he gives you his final thoughts on it. That's my favorite part of the video, because more often than not, a lot of these conspiracy theories, I gotta be honest with you, have a lot more truth in them than you think they do. And it's kind of making me schizophrenic, bro, but you know what I mean? Like, I love his videos, dude. Hecklefish, it's like this little Muppet-like creature that he created. It's just a goldfish in a jar with his mouth on it that talks. Really annoying, some people think he is. I think he's kind of funny. I don't mind him too much. I got a weird sense of humor. The research and the lengths he goes to on these conspiracy theories, very, very admirable. The dude AJ, who runs the whole thing, he really, really seems legit. He seems like a great guy I'd have a beer with. All these YouTubers I could see me going out to dinner with and just chatting it up. They really seem like great guys. But I really value people being 100% with me, you know what I mean? But I love AJ. I love how he's not afraid to share his opinion. There's some stuff he won't talk about because they're like, it's a little not YouTube friendly, but he has like a whole Patreon. I actually am subscribed to his Patreon. Only YouTuber I have a Patreon for, just because I like watching those other videos and whatever moments he clips out. My favorite video of his, the Anunnaki one, is really good. I'm not saying Anunnaki are real, but there's some stuff in there that is really weird, and I would really go suggest watching that one. His Project Bluebeam one, awesome. Go check that out ASAP. Project Bluebeam is really scary, and I hope it's not true, but there's a lot of weird shit. Some people just end up dying in traffic accidents after they reveal stuff, so, or reveal fake things. I don't know why they just died. You got to go check out AJ, the Y-Files. Great videos. I love his editing style. He does use AI for his visual effects in the background. I don't mind it, though. You know what I mean? I think it still looks good. That might be a killer for you. Bob Gymlam doesn't. But love AJ, love the Y-Files. Go check him out. He should be at 10 million subs, not 1 million. Lastly, I really just wanted to thank everybody for all the support over the past month. You know, I haven't done YouTube since I was in high school, and we just hit 400 subs. Hoping to hit 500 soon, maybe 1,000 in the far future, but you guys have just been phenomenal. Please like and subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, share, whatever. But if you're into it, you know, I'm going to be pumping out videos every Monday. I'm not going to be doing vlogs, really. I just did that one vlog because I didn't have a video to post for Monday. But yeah, I mean, that's it. I really appreciate you guys. See ya.